I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him. It's definitely an interactive session, so if you have questions, comments, stories, jokes, I think it's a lot more lively and we get a lot more out of it if we all engage. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Josh.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Did everybody have a good night? Yeah. Too much wine? Too much anything? Yeah, first thing, if you have a question, let's just raise your hand and I'll answer it. Okay, so we can make this interactive. Number two, I may cuss. I'm very passionate about this. Number three, I will probably forget about my slides because I just get to talking and my slides aren't that important. But my name is Josh Mitchell. I'm the BDC director at Dan Cummins Chevrolet. I've been at Dan Cummins since 2011. In 2011, we were selling about 150 cars, which is nice because it's a town of 9,500 people. But we made some changes in our management and how we were going to recruit and train, and we started down a path. And in 2014, we sold 6,124 cars for the year. My general manager came to me and said, we're going to make a lot of software changes. We're going to get these guys mobile, and we're going to sell 7,500 cars for 2015. I said, okay, great. We've had a 30% increase year over year. It's no big deal. And we sold 7,500 cars. And so then he came to me and said, for 2016, we're going to sell 10,000 cars. And I said, that's a lot of cars. And so we are 3 months left of the year, and we are on target to sell 10,000 cars. And culture and what we do as a dealership and how we train our people and how we interact with our employees is a huge part of our success as a dealership. And so today what we're going to learn, we're going to do manager versus a leader, the past way. How many have been in the business for 10 years? 20 years? Can we go 30? 40? Awesome. So we're going to talk about the past way and how dealers have done it over the past. Culture and what's so important about culture in your dealership to not only for your employees, but what that does for the culture for your customers' experience. And those day millennials, aka the entitled ones, we're going to talk about those guys. And so, manager, to dominate or influence a person by tact, flattery, or article. To handle, direct, govern, or control action or use. That's what a manager is, to dominate. That's how we like to put ourselves as managers, like we're gods, and we have to manage our little people. And leadership creates an inspiring vision for the future, motivates, inspires people and engages of that vision, manages, delivers the vision, coaches, and builds a team so that they can be more effective in achieving their vision. So you see the difference between managing people versus leading people. Managers, I said this in a little tweet not too long ago. Leaders leave legacy, managers leave a mess. That's what, as we go along, we need to stop talking about managing people and talk about leading people. That's what people want. They don't want to, when you talk about the past has been the sales meeting where we come in and the sales manager and everybody gets all hoorah'd up, and then he tells you that you're a freaking loser and that you guys suck and you guys don't follow up and you're just a piece of crap. That's how a lot of dealers have done it and still do it today. And then we go after we've yelled at them and told them that they suck, and now we go, now go sell some cars, guys. And what happens when you have this breakdown of the screaming, the yelling, and the breaking down of these people. First off, their confidence level is at an all-time low. And now they have to go talk to a customer who is going to break them down again. And so their attitude is shit. And now they have to go up to a customer and they have the shitty attitude, and the customer might be a little bit hard. And so now that customer's experience has gone down the drain. And now you lose a customer, and now he's in a worse mood than he was because you yelled at him. Now he's lost a customer, and now he's trying to look for the next stop. And so it doesn't pay to beat these people down. It doesn't pay to scream and yell at people anymore. It's wrong. You will get more from honey than vinegar. It's just the way that it is. Guilt is a powerful emotion. If you can guilt your people into being successful, that they don't want to let you down, that is the biggest thing that they hate, is to let you down. That is the biggest motivator. I've left my group. I manage a group of 12 young ones, and I've called once to check on them. I don't have to worry about them not doing their job, because they know that if I find out, that I'm going to be disappointed. And disappointment for a lot of millennials, for their coach, their leader, to be disappointed in them is their biggest motivator. They don't want that. And so when we talk about the past, we have all these things like we put people on bell to bell because they did something wrong. And my question for everybody is this: are you willing to do that to yourself when you screw up as a manager? Are you willing to say, you know, I didn't do this, and so I'm going to put myself on bell to bell? Because most of you won't. And it's wrong. These people have families. And now you've asked them, they already work crappy hours already. And so now you've asked them to spend more time away from their family, more time away from what makes them ultimately the happiest. And now they're working bell to bell. And you think that they're going to sell more cars, but the reality is now their attitude is crap. And so now they're not going to sell any more cars for you because they're going to be tired, they're going to be crispy, and they're going to be angry. And so your customers now are going to get that. And so turnover, we talk about turnover a lot. And turnover, you know, somebody makes a mistake and then we just go, well, fired. Yet you haven't understood why they made that mistake. Maybe it was your fault. Maybe you didn't train them on the expectation level that you were looking for from that person. And so if you continue to fire in the whole churn and burn with just hire 7, get rid of 7. It costs a lot of money in training. And we all know we don't recruit car people because car people suck. It's just the way that it is. They have bad habits already. We would rather recruit younger kids, so to speak. I'm 34, I can't call them kids yet. But we recruit people who have, you know, that were waiters and waitresses. That's who we go after. We go after people who have a good heart. We can teach them the rest. Because if you get that hot shot car salesman in there, he will ruffle the feathers of every one of them. And there's nothing, your dealership, I talk about BDC a lot, but your dealership, your car salesman, and your whole entire thing is a fish tank. If you get one bad parasite in there, it will kill everybody. The motivation level goes down because this jackass is stepping in front of everybody. This guy is not following up. He's skating people. If you recruit those hot shots, yeah, they'll sell you cars. They might make you some money. They'll cost you money in the end. You'll have quality people leave because you let that guy ruin your dealership. And so be careful on who you recruit. Don't recruit car people. They have bad habits already. It's just not, you know, when you get younger people with, and not exactly younger people, you know, we've recruited people who have had years of experience in other avenues, but you get to take that experience that they've had and you get to put what you feel is the best practices and what you feel is what your dealership's most passionate part of what they do. You get that to instill that in those people. And so get rid of the car people, please. And so let's talk about the young ones, the millennials. You know, we talk about millennials a lot. It's a huge subject. Brent did a session, and he's doing another one tomorrow about marketing to millennials is for suckers. But millennials are, you know, they're entitled, they're lazy, they're stupid, and it's simply not true. Millennials will be about 67% of the workforce in 2020. All will be millennials. And so you really need to look at these people because they bring something to the table that other generations haven't. Number one, they're tech savvy. They know their technology. They know how to work a computer. I know that sounds like, you know, something we shouldn't talk about because most people should know how to use a computer, but it's amazing to me how many people don't know what Internet Explorer is when I interview them. And so what they want from us, what millennials really are looking for, is they want to grow, even if it means growing out of your business. You know, they want to grow. They don't want to stay where they're at. They don't want a stagnant career. They're not looking to work somewhere for 35, 40 years. They're not looking for that. If you're not willing to push them and grow them and continue to grow them, they'll leave you. But, you know, there's a funny thing that said, you know, what if we train them and they leave us? What if we don't and they stay? You know, training these people and being entrenched in their lives and what goes on and finding out what's important to them is how you get them to that next level. It's how you get to push them into the culture and the mindset and the goals of the company. That's how you get there. They want a coach, not a boss. That's what they're looking for. Nobody wants a boss. They want a coach. They want someone who has been there, done that, and still can. I pride myself in my BDC because I know how to do it. I still do it, still can, and will do it. I will still pick up the phone. I will still answer a lead. I will still jump up. I sold a car on Labor Day. I don't sell cars. I sold cars when I first started there, but moved up through time, and I don't sell cars. It's not what I do. But we were so busy that I took it up and I sold a car. And I still can do it, and I still am willing to do it. As a manager, sometimes we get stuck into, that's not my role. I don't sell cars. That's not my role. I don't answer the phones. I don't take an internet lead. I don't do those things. If your employees see that you're not going to do it, they're going to care less about doing it. You have to know what you're doing. I think that's the problem with a lot of sales managers and why some of them don't want to come out of their desk to go close a deal because they're afraid they might not be able to. And now their salesman now looks at them like, all he did was give up gross. I could have done that. And so as a manager, you have to continue to push yourself and earn that right. You've earned the right to be a manager. You have to earn the right to be a leader. For them to call you a leader, you have to earn it. And there are steps. And if you haven't, John Maxwell has a book about leadership. I highly suggest that you read it because it goes down every step of the way on how you need to do it. There are so many ways to become a leader in that individual's mind. And so they don't want to waste time on the little things. All the little things that drive us crazy, like trying to get something expensed and it takes 8 hours to get it done. They don't want to go down that path. They'd rather just not do it. And they want balance and democracy. Money doesn't motivate everybody. I know we're in the car business and we're in sales and that sounds stupid, but money is not the only motivator. And you need to have a conversation. I have a conversation with my people. I do a 5-minute meeting with them every month. Sometimes when they're having a bad week, I will have a meeting with them just to find out what the hell's going on. But ask them this question: what does success mean to you? And you will find out what motivates them. Some of them, it's money. Some of them, it's time. Time with their family. Time to do what they want to do. And some of them, it is a combination of those two things. Some of them, it's just they want a promotion. They want to move. They want to grow with the company. Some of them are fine where they are. And I'm okay with that. I don't need everybody to be a manager. We don't need too many chiefs and not enough Indians. And so I don't need everyone to want to go down the path of management. But when they tell me that I eventually want to be a manager and this is the path I want to take, you better deliver it. If you feel that they can do it, you better deliver. Because if you don't, they will leave you. You're not the only dealership in the town. You're not the only dealership that's doing well. You're not the only dealership in the country. They will leave you if you do not spend time with them and actually deliver what you told them that you were going to deliver. And so when you're sitting there talking to them, figure out what motivates them. Figure out what it is. But you better execute. Because if you don't execute, they're going to leave you. And so culture is huge. Because if you treat your employees like shit, you're going to have a piss poor attitude towards your customers. It's just the way that it is. You know, you have to build these people up. You can't break them down and then pat them on the ass and say, hey, go sell cars now. It's just, it doesn't work. And so I did a study. My BDC of 12, I've got a lady that's in her mid-40s, and then I have a bunch of millennials, the young ones. And so I did a study on how to better manage these people. I took the time in my busy life, in the busy career stuff, and I said, all right, what is it that makes these guys tick? And I'm going to spend the next 3 months figuring this out, and then I'm going to make them watch a video that it's actually a podcast, but it's called 4 Tendencies. And Gretchen Rubin wrote a book about this, and with your 4 tendencies, you have these. You have the rebel. We all have worked with the rebel. And the rebel is someone who I can't tell them what to do, and they can't tell themselves what to do. They will fight themselves on any goal that they set for themselves. They will fight management on any goal they set for them. They will do everything like a rebel would. And so with a rebel, I am an upholder. Upholders, if you set a goal for me, I'll do it. If I set a goal for myself, I'll do it. It's my obligation to do it. I have to. Then you have the questioner. We all work with questioners. Why do we need to do this? When you have a questioner, you need to make sure that when you change a policy, when you change a procedure, when you change anything, you're going to get some questions out of him. So you better have data to back up everything that you do. If you present them like, hey, we're going to change everything that we've done, and here's why. Here's everything. They go, okay, makes sense. That's your questioner. We all work with questioners, believe me. And then you have the obliger. The obliger is more like the mom who will take care of herself before will take care of her kids or everybody else before she'll ever take care of anybody herself. It's just the way that those people operate. And so you have to understand when you're setting goals for them to make sure that you talk to the obliger with, make sure you take care of yourself. You know, they'll make sure they take care of everybody else. But make sure that when you're having conversations with these people that you make sure that they spend time on themselves and not worrying about the team so much. They're great people to have. But the rebel and the upholders will butt heads. I have 2 in my room, and we butt heads because I don't understand why you can't just do it. And they don't understand me at all. And so when I had the rebel, what I've learned with them is that if I tell them, and this is bad, if I tell them you can't do it, they'll prove me wrong. Because it's the way that the rebel works. If you tell them, hey, I don't think you really can, all of a sudden they're like, watch this. And eventually I got what I wanted out of that rebel. And upholders are the very easy ones to manage or lead because they're all about goals. They're the ones that say, all right, I'm going to lose 50 pounds and then lose 50 pounds. They're the ones who, if you tell them, hey, I need you to make 150 outbound calls, they do it. Because they don't want to let you down and they don't want to let themselves down. And the questioner, be sure that you have data. They love data. They love it and they eat it up. And when you have data that will basically take them down what you want them to do and it supports it, you go, okay, cool, we're good to go. And your obligers are the easiest ones too, because they just love to take care of you. So when you set goals for them, they're all about just taking care of it, doing it, moving along, and just going down the path. They will never question you at all. You just have to make sure they take care of themselves. Because if they don't, they'll burn out. Because that's what moms do. You just put everybody else first, and you don't get any sleep. Yes?
I'm sorry, Josh, did you say that the Lord uses a book or a podcast?
It's a podcast. She has a podcast, and she's written a number of books. Her name's Gretchen Rubin. And what I did, once I made, there's a quiz for this. And if you type in Gretchen Rubin 4 Tendencies, you can find the quiz. And I made every single person in my room, and the questioner was like, why do we have to take this? Don't worry. There's data to back it up. Just take it. And I made them take it, and it takes about 5 minutes to take the quiz. And then I made them print out what they were. And then what I had them do is go listen to the podcast of who they are. And it's amazing how many people came back and was like, that was spot on. It makes them understand why they are the way they are. And then as a manager, you need to go down that path and listen to every single one of them. They're about 30 minutes long. It's not too bad. But they're 30 minutes long. And it allows you to understand your people. That's the biggest thing, is just to understand them. Be entrenched into their lives. That's what they're looking for. As a leader, you need to know every aspect of everything that's going on with them. I understand that we're getting personal, but when they're having a bad day because they had a bad breakup, it's good to know those things. It's good to care so much about your team. Not that I will fire someone. You know, firing is the worst thing I ever have to do. I hate it with a passion. I wish I just had a team to do it and go, that one there, I'm leaving. But if you set them up, and when you're going down the path that you may have to go down with firing someone, make sure you're not the problem. Because so many times we think they already know why. We think they already have ideas on what's expected of them. But in reality, they didn't have a clue what you thought. And so that's why when the month ends, I spend at least 5 minutes with each member of my team, and we go over their month, and we go over what's going on in their life. We go over their goals for the next month, and we just talk. And if they don't want to talk about their numbers, that's fine. We can just talk. And they know that I am fully invested in their career. It's my job to make sure they are successful. I care more than they ever will know, and more than I care for them to know. Because I want my team, because if they're not successful, it's my fault. It's not their fault. We keep telling everybody that it's their fault. But if my team's not successful, it was my fault. Because I didn't set the expectation. I didn't watch them close enough. Sometimes you have to micro. I hate micromanaging. It's not something I do well. But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to have that difficult conversation with someone about what's going on with their life, what's going on with everything. And so, understand that I want to, as a leader, I want to leave legacy. Because that's the most important thing with these people. Is to be someone they talk about, not about that manager that one time, you remember him, he threw burritos. I don't want to be that guy. He lost his temper every single day. He made us feel like shit and broke us down and never built us back up. Our people want coaches. They want people who've lived and breathed it and that can take them down the path of what their career is. Not just a bunch of assholes yelling and screaming and telling everybody they suck. Because as an industry, that's what we've done. As an industry, we have not been the best place to work. Yeah, the money's great. The hours suck. The managers really suck. And so, we need to change our industry. It's time to change our industry. We are in the biggest boom we've ever been through. Business is great. It's time to go after people that are quality people that you can take down the path to lead to management and then to earn the right to be called a leader in the company. And so, any questions? I know I spew a lot, and there's a lot of things going on in our industry, and there's a lot of things going on with how we manage and how we lead, and our industry is broken. And I am a millennial, so some of you may look at me like I'm crazy, but our industry is broken, and how we treat our people is broken, and our culture is so important. It is so important to change, because if we want to build our customer base, if we want to have our customers have the best experience, because it's not all about price. I know we throw that out there. Price sells cars. No, experience sells cars. And so if we want to create that experience for our customers, you better start with your employees first.
So to go along with this, have you guys thought about, or are you thinking about, it's a little off topic, but the way that we set up the showroom, the salesperson, the F&I manager, the sales manager, in order to address some of these issues of time management and how we go about recruiting people who actually want to work these hours and that kind of thing?
Yeah, we've looked at a lot of different things, and we haven't. It's not perfect yet. You know, my mindset's a little different than some other people. I feel that you don't have to work 70 hours a week. It's just you don't. You know, if you have people that want to work 40 hours a week, let them work 40 hours a week. There's no reason for bell to bells and 8 to 8s and these 12 hours and 15-hour days. I'm a workaholic, so I do it already. But you should expect every single person in your dealership to do that. And so I think there has to be, you know, when you're recruiting, you have to really start looking outside of the industry. I think you really need to look at the waiters and waitresses, because they're already people. They like people. They're in the trenches with waiting tables. And if you ever waited tables ever in your life, it is a fast-paced environment. And so if they can thrive at that, they can thrive in the car business. Any more questions? All righty. Oh, yeah.
Well, just most managers were pretty good salespeople in our business. 30 years, it seems to be the case. I don't think the managers are as qualified to do